Well, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, saints. I just want to come and just share a wonderful testimony today about the goodness of the Lord. And, you know, God is just so good. And you know, listen to this. I've been believing for God for a harp for 7 years. And, you know, saints, I want to tell you this, that if you have been believing God for something and it hasn't come to fruition yet, don't give up believing. It's just as easy to believe as it is to not believe. But it's better to believe because then you can walk in expectation that you will receive. It's hard to believe that something good will happen if you don't believe that it will happen. And so I want to give you a testimony about the goodness of God and pray that I can get through this without just being a crying, blubbering crybaby Sally. Many years ago, I was in a position with the Lord where I was reading in the Gospels, and Jesus asked Bartimaeus, "What do you want?" And Bartimaeus said, "I want to see." And I remember the Lord asking me, this was a Saturday night, and he was asking me, "What do you want?" And I didn't know how to answer that. And I didn't know how to answer that because the things in my life that I had ever wanted growing up were always taken away from me. And so the idea of wanting something brought fear that one, would be taken away, and two, the other alternative, which was the answer was always no. And so why desire something knowing that it's just going to be taken away? And so I gave up really desiring anything. And it's almost like living in a life numb, if you want the truth. And so on that night, when he asked, "What do you want?" And I was just so confounded in that space and in that time of not really being able to express because I was so fearful. I didn't want God to think that I was using him. I didn't want to hope and believe for something and then have it be like everything else had been in my life. And so the Lord had me get out my roll of paper that I would put on my wall, and I prayed all kinds of things, but this was everything that I wanted. But I had to break through to get to this place of freedom of being able to articulate that. The other challenge that I had was not wanting God to think that I was using him, but the other thing was that I had been part of a Bible training for so many years prior that it was, well, I just want what you want me to have, God. I just want what you want me to have, which sounds very holy, but it leaves the person in the relationship with the Lord very hollow. Because God gave us the desires, and here I was not articulating anything that I desired for all of this myriad of terrible reasons. And so when he started asking me repeatedly, I got to this place of really like just a level of breakdown because I had never been in that place so vulnerable about being able to actually have an opinion and have it matter. And it sounds kind of funny, especially being in the titles that I've had in my career. That was very different, but this is God. And sometimes we think that when someone is so powerful and they've got this title, or they are whatever they are in their title, that should automatically translate. Except this is God. And so in that moment, I had to get free, and so I started after all this turmoil and this release of all these things. I wrote down all these things that I wanted. And then the Lord had me go through my list again. And in that, he asked, "What do you see?" And I was like, "I see that I can write a lot of things." I see a lot of things. Like, what am I looking for? I'm like, it's like the picture, you know, where you see like the old lady, if you look at it this way, and then you flip it the other way, and it's like the young girl. And you're like, which one am I looking at? And I hate those things because I never really, those are always, I'm like, I just don't like those things. And so I'm looking and I'm looking, I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? Is this like a logic game where the pink car is parked in the spot 1, but then this one is parked in spot 2, and there's 4 kids in this one, so how many dogs are there? Type of thing that I'm just missing. And so this went on for quite a long time. And then he showed me that in all the things that I had written down, that there were only 2 things that were of the physical nature. And one of them is my beach house that I will have. And the other was a harp. And let me tell you what happened, saints. This was many years ago. And every time I've stepped out to take lessons to play the harp, there was another bill. There was something with the ministry that needed funding. There was a class that, you know, some of you may know that I'm an adjunct professor or college professor, and I would have a class canceled. And so I couldn't really justify spending the money on lessons when their ministry needs. And so, but it was still a desire to be able to play the harp. And I will tell you what happened. It's just so beautiful. Obviously, I need lessons. So 2 weeks ago, I received a phone call from someone I've never met, someone I don't know. This person says, I just want to pray for you, watch your videos, and I know that God's going to do some mighty things in your life, and I'm just praying that these things come to pass, that those things that you believe in God for start to enter in. This is your season. This is a time for you to receive. And I'm like, well, hallelujah, I am receiving that. Praise God. The very next day, I get a call, and it's someone I don't know, someone I've never met. Someone calls and says, look, I watch your videos, and I know when you were talking about that you wanted a harp, and this person says, I want to bless you with the harp. Now this person says, I know the one that you'd like to have, and I know it's 55 grand, which it's like 53 and a half, plus shipping, and yeah, it's like 55,000. So how could, I mean, if you're going to, it just is, right? But this person says, I know that's that, but I'd like to bless you with the harp that you can have and play now. Can I do that? And to have someone that I've never met that was willing to be obedient to bless me in that way is a testimony of the God that we serve, is a testimony of what can occur when we look first at his kingdom. And so this person said, this is what I can do for you. Will you receive? And you know what? I learned long ago, I don't turn down blessings because it sends out a spirit of rejection. And I did that once, and it was too big, too much of a lesson to learn. And so here's what ended up happening was this, saints. When you are on the receiving end, it's wonderful. And your job, your duty, your obligation might be, yes, Lord, I'm in a position to receive this, and I thank you. On the side of the giver, there's also a battle. And this person that stepped out to make this happen for me went through a journey as well. You see, in the music industry, especially with harps, you can't normally just buy one and have it shipped to someone else. It doesn't work that way. They won't do it. And so how do you purchase something, especially now with technology, the way that it is, and hacks and all these other things? How do you purchase something and have it shipped to someone without going through all this extraneous things? And so I knew spiritually that this person was going through a major battle of just getting it and then getting it to me. And let me tell you, saints, this particular harp went from Boston to New York to Pennsylvania to Knoxville, Tennessee, to Alabama, to Mississippi, and then to Texas. This harp is like, it's like the what's that movie, like the traveling pantsuits or whatever that movie was. It's like the traveling anointed by God harp. And so when I look at this, saints, I share this testimony with you because you have within you so much more than what you probably know is there. You probably have more desires than you have allowed to come out. You probably have more of a giving spirit than what you've operated in. And I am so overwhelmed by the goodness of God and others that nobody had to do this. But someone saw and said, I want to do this for you. And what this is going to do for God's kingdom is the bigger picture for me, is that it's in a time of worship and in a time of warfare, there is so much that occurs through the harp. And I know of a wonderful woman of God who plays the harp, and she's self-taught, and in those deep times of warfare worship, that glass has shattered, and it's tearing down those strongholds and moving in the spiritual realm. And that has been my heart's desire, to move in another level in my prayer and worship life, which was the whole purpose behind this. And so let me tell you something. I met with that woman, and I've spoken with her, and she says to me, and I'm just crying, blubbering, snot all over the place. And she says, you know, every person that I've ever encountered that has a desire to play the harp, I see the angels all around them ministering to them to play. It is such a move of God. And saints, there's so many things that God gets the glory for in this whole event that has taken place, that isn't about just me, that isn't really even about this harp, isn't about the giver. It is about God that has moved in the life of people to move through them. It starts a move to us, to move through us. And the move of God in one person's life to move through, to be able to move in my life, to move through my life for His kingdom and glory, is what I pray that we all get to a place of operating at. Because in seeing that, God is just so good. And this has been something for me for so many years. And that He cares that much to do this. And He cares that much about you, for you to be used in His kingdom as one who gives, as well as one on the receiving side. And so, saints, I know that as you can hear me play, you can probably tell that I need many lessons. But don't we all? So my prayer today is that we all grow to have a heart of a giver, that we are all positioned to be able to receive, that we don't deny God's operation in our lives. And I also ask that you stand in agreement with me that the Holy Spirit will teach me how to play this harp, because I don't know how yet. I do. Ding, 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 ding. But that I would be able to play and move heaven on this earth for his kingdom. So saints, I pray that this has blessed you like it's blessed me. I got a lot of work to do, but I just wanted to share God's goodness and his grace and his just awesomeness and how he works. So I'd be up and singing and dancing around, but I just fall over on my knees. So that's a testimony that I pray that you really just receive and that you just walk in his presence expecting to, because whatever you have faith to believe him for, I'm just believing that he's going to do it in your life. And if you want to share what it is that you have faith to believe God for, I prayed with many of you about those things. I pray over those things daily. I've got them all printed. I know what you're believing God for. And if you want to get on board, you can go to Julie Blair, hit the contact page, and just send your faith list. And I will stand in agreement for those things to be received in your life, because I know if he's done them in my life, that if he's using someone I've never met to bless me in a way that is blessing his kingdom, I know that he'll do it for you. And how could he not? Because he's just so good. So God bless you today. Thanks for taking the time out to listen to this. Go to julieblow.com for more videos, resources. There's just so much to help you grow and to just come into his presence. God bless you, saints. Till next time. Have a great day. I gotta go play and learn so I can come back next time and have a song mastered for you. God bless you all. I love you so much, and thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye.